All right, welcome back to the Tater Talk podcast, and I'm here today with Max Cutler from Race West Company. And Max, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I was just telling
It's
Mike, this is my first ever potato or industry related podcast ever. So don't judge me too hard. Thanks for having me.
oh, it's yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. And we actually haven't even spoke before, so this will be a fun
First time.
conversation, I'm sure.
Definitely.
So, you are active on LinkedIn, and you may be on other channels, but I apologize. I don't pay attention to many other
LinkedIn,
channels.
buddy.
But you're definitely active on LinkedIn talking about sweet potatoes.
Yep.
So, what got under your skin or in your blood that made you so passionate about sweet potatoes?
Wow. So sweet potatoes are basically my entire life. Besides selling them on a daily basis, I am trying to promote the consumption of them. I'm trying to promote incorporating them into different recipes. And I'm also trying to incorporate them into longevity. I like to exercise a lot. I'm into endurance sports, and I don't know if you've seen it, but I always am posting that I fuel most either after my workouts, before my workouts, or during my workouts with sweet potatoes. I include potatoes as well. Quick background: my family I represent the fourth generation of Race West, which is a grower, packer, shipper of root veg, and I handle the sweet potato category, which is why I'm so passionate about that. But I also have four siblings that are partners in the company alongside me, and we handle potatoes and onions and other root veg. But my little nook is the sweet potato nook. So I took it and ran with it and started sprinting, and I dropped a few things along the way and picked them back up. But yeah, I'm all in. The thing about a product is you need to become an expert at it, one, and you also have to be passionate about it. So I don't hide how passionate I am about sweet potatoes, so that if people want to choose to do business with me, they know that it's not just when I'm at the office, I pretend I like it, and then I go home and never touch it. I mean, I'm eating it 5, 6 times a week minimum.
Well, the passion definitely comes through in what we see on LinkedIn, and I can see it right now on camera too. So you are actually, you and your siblings are fourth generation in the produce business. That's pretty
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
How has, um, so what has your personal journey been within the family business? Were you like out in fields when you were still in diapers, or was it, or was it more and never left since, or is it more of a more variety
It's a
over
great
your
question.
career?
So I'm the youngest of five, right? So I watched all my older siblings venture out into the world of non-potatoes and non-produce. My oldest brother studied bioengineering at Syracuse and ended up back to selling potatoes. My second oldest brother's pre-law, and um, he's selling onions now. And it was never by force. My father always left the door open for us to join the business, but it was never like, you know, as soon as you guys come into this earth, you're going to be in the root veg business. Like, take it or leave it. He never showed us how fun it was. He brought us to conventions. He brought us out to the field. He brought us to customers. He brought us to food manufacturers that did business with, and we just saw how much fun he was having. So that passion that you see from me on LinkedIn is definitely passed down. If you ever check out my dad on LinkedIn, Harris Cutler, or just look him up online, you'll see that he's always cooking potatoes. He's always giving potatoes to people in need. He's always trying to play with new varieties, and it's kind of contagious when you become obsessed with something and you just love to talk about it. Uh, you attract others that are similar interested in it. For example, but during Thanksgiving, which is the busiest time of year for me and my family, but especially the sweet potato department, I had the honor and privilege to teach at my children's school. Uh, I got to teach them about how the sweet potatoes get from the farm to their plate, the whole journey. I had some of my farming partners take videos of the packing line of themselves, giving out the shout out to my kids, and it really was something special. And then afterwards, we ended up packing a bunch of produce to give to people in need for Thanksgiving. But yeah, so back to your original question. I was always exposed to it. My dad always had us intern and work during the summers. And in college, believe it or not, I was a DJ. And I thought, this is it. I'm going to be DJing for my career. I'm obsessed with it. This is so fun. I was doing clubs. I was doing frat parties. I was doing, Sweet 16, stuff like that. And when it came to graduation and deciding what I want to do long term, I saw all my siblings working with my father, having the time of their lives. And I said, how could I miss this party? I got to jump in. So I put the turntables to the side and grabbed the forklift. Never looked back.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So, in the years that you've been active in the business
Mm-hmm.
and thinking about what your dad's generation went through in the business, what has changed? What is probably the biggest change that you've seen in any aspect, whether it's, you know, you're growing,
Mm-hmm.
your growers or what you grow yourself, how you market, consumer trends.
For sure.
What stands out?
So this one, this one was a slow burner, but
Okay.
over the last I'd say five or so years, the thing that got to me the most, that really opened my mind and confused me a little bit, but also just shocked me, was that the consumption of, I'm just going to talk about sweet potatoes now because
Sure.
this is what I'm involved with most of the time. The consumption of sweet potatoes in 2025 is more geared towards processed product uh, than fresh. And I would say, like, our parents' generation, they would buy a ton of potatoes and just let them sit in there under their sink or wherever they would keep them. And they'd buy a 10-pound bag and they'd buy a 5-pound bag and they would cook a lot. But as I'm selling, I'm noticing that most of my sales are trending towards French fry manufacturing, potato chip manufacturing, dog food manufacturing,
Mhm.
chopped, like setting to processors who are chopping for big chains like Sweet Greens and Chipotle and stuff like that. So the processed, the processed processing market, I should call it, is it's growing year over year. And I'm talking to a lot of my friends and asking them how they're eating their sweet potatoes, and a lot of them are telling me, "Yeah, I just buy the frozen bag of fries, or I get Blue Apron boxes to my house." They're not buying sweet potatoes in the supermarket. They're buying them either through like a meal kit company or they're buying them chipped or French fried, which is mind blowing to me. And I talked to my mom and her generation, and yeah, they're still buying the 3-pound bag because they're cooking for Thanksgiving, they're cooking for Christmas. Um, but when I look at my sales volume year over year, what's growing like crazy is people that are manufacturing these sweet potatoes. And I know
Hmm.
you are an expert in that, and you're probably seeing that yourself. Am I
We
right?
definitely see a demand for more sweet potato snacks. Um, Fries are popular for sure. I definitely see them on more menus as I travel. Um, and even like, people are looking to do blends of regular white chips with sweet potato chips in the same bag because it's unique.
Absolutely.
I think sweet potatoes are perceived to be, healthier than other potatoes, but that's just my simple understanding. I don't understand the actual science or nutritional
I don't think
science.
I don't think there is a science or nutrition back to it. I think
Yeah.
they're just as healthy. I think because potatoes are just like associated with deep fried French fries or
Hmm.
deep fried potato chips, that they lose their mojo. But I mean, the facts. A potato has 4 times the potassium of a banana. It's a great carb. It's the Atkins diet way back, like knocked it back a few notches. But I think science has proven that it keeps you full. I'm speaking on all tubers now, not
Hmm.
just sweet
Hmm.
Russ's, Reds, Yukons. Yeah, it's the best. I mean, it keeps you full. You see all these people on TikTok, these bodybuilders or weightlifters. Got to have your potatoes and ground beef. You got to have your potatoes and salmon. Some people are saying that they won't touch rice or pasta if they're really trying to get shredded. They're going right to the potatoes. Um, I love what they're doing in the UK. They have the food trucks with the jacket potatoes. They need to make that more popular in America. I would destroy those things.
Yeah, I agree.
The chili
Yeah.
on there. Some
Yeah.
people put cheese on it. Oh, they need to make. I wish there was a potato food truck outside my office. You and I might need to talk about who we're going to talk to get that set up.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. I've got a client that makes frozen jacketed potatoes, so it'd be super simple to just like heat those up. It's not the best way to do it, but it's a move in the right direction. At least get jacketed potatoes out
Affordable,
there more and more.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, well, I mean, it's really interesting. Your whole world, I mean, other than your community, your family, your faith, and what you do in the community, but like your world is sweet potatoes, man. And that passion must really actually help you resonate with customers, right? Like that must help sales.
it does. It does.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's authentic. I can see it.
yeah, I mean, I can't I have to give credit to my parents for sure. They
Hmm.
always said that, if you're passionate about something, become an expert at it, become obsessed with it. And I thought to myself, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that do what we do, which is sell produce. And
Hmm.
what's gonna make people want to buy from me? And one of my biggest sales mentors just said that you have to bring value not just on a monetary basis. If you're the cheapest, great. Someone's going to be cheaper than you tomorrow. It's not about that. Uh, if you present value where you seem like you really care about what you're doing, you enjoy what you're doing, and you care about the end user's benefit at the end of the day, which it sounds kind of cookie cutter, but um, that to me is what makes sales fun. You find out similarities between you and the client, and I'm not just talking about customers. I'm talking about even the people transporting your product. Because then when you're going into work every day, you're talking to your network, and you're just having fun all day.
Hmm.
You're talking about somebody's interested in golf. I play a little golf. We can talk about that. I'm not a huge golfer. Somebody's interested in faith. They want to talk about religion. Let's go. I could talk for hours. You want to talk about how to promote the sweet potatoes, what to cross merchandise with? I'll help you with that too. You want to talk about the NFL? Let's do it. I'm not saying you have to become like the jack of all trades, but if you find out what someone's interested in and you can find a common ground, great. For me, uh, since I'm talking about sweet potatoes, obviously that's the go-to. But when I talk to people in the industry that are really into running or weightlifting or any type of sport, I tell them that I truly believe that it's a superfood because of the carbs you get, beta carotene you get, the vitamin A and D that you get, and also the fact that it keeps you full. It's great for keto, and that is why I do the recipes the way I do it because people don't understand. They just think sweet potatoes, Thanksgiving. Yeah, I have it on Thanksgiving. I have some candied yams, and maybe I'll have it on Easter or Christmas. But other than that, I really don't eat them. It's like
Hmm.
no, you got to be making sweet potato pizza crust. You need to be making tacos, tortillas out of the sweet potatoes. Like, let me show you how to do this. This is a year-round food. I go as simple as baking a sweet potato and putting peanut butter on it and letting like the peanut butter melt into the hot sweet potato, and it's just like an epic snack. People don't realize that it's so versatile. And
Man,
I should say most consumers, but based on our topic before, that the processing trend is growing. They do realize how versatile it is. Hence the hypergrowth.
why do you think? I mean, maybe this is the silver bullet or the $1 million question, but why do you think there is that maybe lack of awareness? I don't know if that's the right term, but like, why aren't fresh sweet potatoes more popular and really only associated with certain holiday dinners and things like that? Like, I'm being general, but that's kind of the case.
For sure. I think honestly, because it takes a good amount of time to prepare them,
Mm.
whether that be the peeling and chopping into fries, or even if you want to get a nice solid, like the best sweet potato you can get is baked for at least 45 minutes. If you microwave it, it's a quick grab and go, but only the true ride or die sweet potato consumers will nuke a sweet potato and eat it with their meal. But I think the problem is
That's
time.
me.
It's
Yeah.
time. You throw that in the microwave,
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
holes,
It's
great.
like, it's a 6 minute masterpiece, it's like,
Even
it's
with a
fine.
gold or a russet or a red, same way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
the problem is most people do want it to have that. When you bake it in the oven, you see the sugar start to caramelize. You don't even need to put it. If you rub a little bit of oil on the skin or butter or whatever, yeah, it's going to make it even crispier. But I think scientifically, the sweet potato wants to be cooked for at least 30 or 40 minutes in the oven on, 375 or 400. So people don't have that time. People are running and gunning. You have a lot of households with both parents working, and they want to just get the quickest possible meal for the family until they find out our microwave hack or our company or our
Yeah.
company doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's what's holding people back. So they have Thanksgiving and Christmas where they have time off. They have a lot of time. They're going to bake it for an hour, and then they're going to add,
Mm.
brown sugar and butter and make that casserole that they brag about. And the same on all these other holidays. But on a weeknight, I think, like you said, it's $1 million question. But my guess would be it's just too long to prepare, and people think, oh, I
Mm.
can't eat the skin, so I have to peel it, but that takes too much time. And maybe that's why you see a lot of people buying cubed sweet potatoes or buying the frozen fries because that's easier. You throw them in the oven for 15 minutes, boom, and those are
I
delicious.
think I'm, yeah, I think we'll have to run a poll. We'll do a LinkedIn poll, or maybe the listeners can chime in and say, like, why don't you go to sweet potatoes more often? What's the thought process there?
For sure.
Because I know a lot of people that love sweet potatoes, our family included, but certainly not everyone does. So
Right.
what what has fresh sales trends done? I know you said processing sales have kind of ticked up, but over the last few years, where is that fresh sales going? Is it still going up, just not at the same rate, or is it going down? Is it flat? We're
I would say
curious.
it's in the flat slash slowly increasing year over year. It's not explosive.
Hmm.
The only explosive growth that we've seen is the processed category. Um, I wouldn't say it's on the downturn, but yeah, it's pretty flat. It's pretty
Hmm.
flat. Thankfully, companies that are doing these meal kits, uh, let's just say HelloFresh, Blue Apron, for example, um, they are including a lot of that into their menu, which is keeping the consumption up. But retail wise, yeah, they're always going to stock them.
Hmm.
Uh, you see a few different viral trends happening here and there. Like if you look at the painting I have up above, the far left is that purple purple.
Hmm.
Um, the Netflix put out a longevity documentary about Asian countries that eat the the purple purple. Some people call it the Stokes. Some people call it the Purple Majesty or ube is I think how they refer to it in the show. That it has insane longevity benefits, and these people that are eating it on a daily basis are living to 100 plus. So I went to Stu Leonard's, which is a great store here in the Northeast, and they had an amazing merchandising display set up for sweet potatoes, and they had a palette of these purple purples, and they had marshmallows and pecans, cross merchandise with, but they had a huge box. It was a huge poster that said, "As seen on this Netflix documentary."
Ah,
So that people would be like, wait a minute, I got to check that out. And then they would watch it and then they'd come back and buy the hell out of it. Or they had already seen it and they would buy the hell out of it then and there. I love to make
wow.
a pie with that one. That makes a beautiful pie for any holiday party. You make it the same way you make a regular sweet potato pie, but you use that. I'd say you have to add like double the amount of sweetener because it is pretty nutty. It's,
Hmm.
it almost tastes like, like the purple regular potatoes.
Hmm.
Uh, just a tad sweeter, but yeah, you need to add a good amount of vanilla and maple into that one. But it's really a beautiful looking pie. You can make muffins out of it. I do pancakes for my kids. They like that it's purple. They think they're having a candy treat. Um, so I would say that yeah, retail is just kind of stagnant. Like I've looked at like Thanksgiving and Christmas sales over the last few years, and we haven't gone down, which
Hmm.
is great. And but it hasn't like spiked at all, which I think is okay.
So
I don't know how it is. I don't know how it is with potatoes or other produce items, but I guess stagnant's better than falling.
100%. And I don't have the current numbers on the whole potato market. I know like demand for fries has grown a lot over the last few years, and things are starting to soften now. But that there's a lot of different pressures in place, whether it's product coming in from overseas or it's just demand.
Yeah,
Um, and it just shifting consumer trends through, weight loss drugs and stuff like that is changing eating
that's got to be
habits and
changing the
things.
game for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep. So there's definitely like a lot of things going on that can influence these markets, um, but we also see a lot of potatoes being grown. You know, we've had times of excess potatoes, and it makes me curious, like when you look at your supply chain for your family business, like how do you what does your supply chain look like, first of all,
Yeah.
and what are you able to share with the consumer about what your how your supply chain operates, so they know like where their potatoes are coming from
Absolutely.
and so on.
Okay, so something interesting that's been taking place over the last
Hmm.
handful of years. Um, Side note, sweet potatoes is one of the most exported vegetable in the country. Uh, Particularly North Carolina grows, depending on the year, 80 to 120,000 acres of sweet potatoes just in the Carolinas. And there was a time where 50% of that or 60% of that went overseas. Uh, Recently, Egypt has mastered the craft of growing Beauregard, which normally is a variety grown in Mississippi, Louisiana. Beauregard sweet potatoes in Egypt. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty about it, but their labor costs and their food safety requirements are not what we have here in the U.S. I'll just leave it at that. And by the way, there are a lot of people on LinkedIn that I'm connected with that are Egyptian sweet potato growers who are amazing. Shout out to you guys. Keep rocking and rolling. And their production has grown so much, and they are closer in proximity to a lot of these, export hotspots that Egypt has. I don't want to say taken over, but has put in a huge, has made a huge dent in the export market. So when the U.S. was like, we're exporting 50%, this is awesome, we're getting more money because it's a delicacy over there. When all of a sudden Egypt comes in and takes like 60, 70% of that market share, there have been years where big exporters have been like, oh no, like we need to sell this stuff domestically. We're just going to have to get aggressive. But at the same time, people who are selling their sweet potatoes domestically then have to compete with them because it becomes basically a price fight, and that has changed the U.S. production just dramatically. So I believe that if Egypt continues to grow in popularity in the European market, you will see less acreage planted in the states, and hopefully the consumer, now that whoever's watching is aware of that, will buy more American sweet potatoes and support our American farmers.
I think you're doing a great thing with driving awareness around the benefits of sweet potato. You're walking the talk by fueling all you're running, you're triathlete too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I did a triathlon and I used fuel. I made my own sweet potato fueled little gel packs, and it was my first time doing it. I definitely need to work on the texture. Somebody called me out saying I was polluting the earth by biting into the plastic and spitting it and using plastic bags. Like, you got to get the reusable gel packs. What are you doing? So I'm gonna, for my next half Ironman, whenever that may be, I will do it the right way and perfect the recipe because it was a little too thick. It was basically like a mashed sweet potato texture, and
Hmm.
a little bit more liquidy, or maybe add some more honey to it. But it was awesome, and I had crazy energy. I did an Olympic. Was it an Olympic? Yeah, an Olympic distance, and I finished. I had more in the tank. I could have kept rolling.
Man, I gotta try that recipe for, I've done a few Olympic distance myself, and grown pretty tired of some of those gels and fuels and bars and things that you end up consuming, like especially during long, long days and lots of miles of training for those half Ironmans. And it's like, yeah, I would definitely like to shake it up. Something
Yeah,
that just doesn't hit your gut like a sledgehammer too.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna get yeah. When I get back into it, I'll ping you. I'll get your secret recipe. I'll help you perfect
I'll
it.
perfect it in the
Yeah.
meantime. I know a buddy of mine who did the try and beat my butt. Like, he finished like a good 45 minutes before me, maybe half hour, but still, he smoked it. He had boiled Yukon Golds and sea salt. That's it. He said, "Dude, why are you getting so crazy with making the gels?" He said, and he shows me his bag. It's just like these Yukon bees, sea salt. He boiled them, and
Maybe he's just
he just
snacking on them,
popped them
going away.
on
Yeah.
his bike. He didn't have any during the swim, obviously, but yeah. So I may try that on some races too, because that's a whole different type of potato energy we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, with my Canadian heritage, I decided I was going to try maple syrup, and it was actually pretty good. So just pure maple syrup in one of those reusable gel bags, and man, that was a I wouldn't do it for the whole thing,
Yeah.
but it was great to have with a little bit of salt in there with it.
Okay, I gotta try
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So you're busy with marketing and selling sweet potatoes. You're into fitness. You're training for these endurance events. Have you got have you got kids?
I do, yeah. Thank God I have a almost 5 year old and I have a 2.5 year old and one on the way. So
Oh, congratulations. Yeah,
so
good for you.
I'm growing
So
up.
they're not quite in the family business yet then.
It's funny. My 5 year old wishes. He told me one day, he said, "Dad, can I just come to work with you? Like, why do I have to go to school?" I was like, "You have to finish school to be able to work at Race West. That's part of the rules." But he loves it. He loves it. I give him a little taste here and there, where like we'll like pick up a pallet of produce somewhere and donate it to like the fire department or the police department locally, and he feels like he's delivering, like he feels like it's a real like delivery route. So he like opens up the trunk and he's like trying to lift like a 40-pound box of sweet potato. I was like, no, let me help you with that. But I have awesome pictures of him like delivering produce to all our local first responders, I guess, so to say. So he's got the juice. But
That's
who knows?
awesome.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do what my dad did, which was leave the door open, don't force it, and just show them how much fun we're having. That now I have two kids, one on the way. My brother has three. My other brother has three. So we really we gotta get to work on growing this business because that's a lot of grandkids to come join Generation Five.
Yeah, so what does growth look like for Race West? Have do you have a strategic vision in place?
Um, Honestly, we were so lucky that the growth has come organically. Another mentor told me that when you're running your business, uh, if you chase rabbits too much and just try to grow, 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 but don't maintain it, you'll lose your personal touch, you'll lose your focus, and the business that you had before when things were going awesome will feel neglected while you're going out to chase the new. So right now we're just trying to slowly organically grow. We're really happy with what we have. I've been talking to the same customers for a few generations now that my dad and grandfather
Wow.
talked to. We're dealing with we're dealing with Idaho potato farmers that my grandfather talked to back in like the 1950s and 60s that are so
Wow.
it really is something special. So to just be able to continue that would be remarkable for us.
Yeah,
A
well
lot of, a
said.
lot of my clients have kids my kids' age, and we always joke like, "Oh, they're going to be doing the transaction soon enough," but who knows? It could happen in 20 years. You just don't know.
That I I'm sure you'll be there. And it's incredible. Things may get complex with the numbers of the next generation that may want to
Yeah,
join in. They all you guys leading by example, and they've got a really good example to look at. They're probably going to be raising their hands.
we'll see.
So I know that you and Race West are also quite active in the community, right? With charitable organizations and stuff. Maybe tell me about like some of those organizations and what's really driving your commitment to the community.
100%. Uh, when you think about giving back, right? Basically, there's two ways to do it. One, how much extra money do you have? Set aside your, if we get biblical, your 10%
Hmm.
spread along, which is great. We do that as well personally. But the tools that you have, why not use the tools you have to help others? The problem with excess produce is still a huge problem in America. Shout out to awesome organizations like Sharing Excess and lots of different companies like that who are rescuing produce. But if you talk to them, even they will tell you they cannot rescue enough produce. It's just the landfills that are being filled up, the contracts that are getting canceled, the amount of one thing people aren't talking enough about is the product that is becoming excess through rejection. So what do I mean by that? Trader Joe's has a load of bananas that's a little too ripe than what they wanted it to be, so they just reject it. Now all of a sudden that becomes a homeless load. You have a lot of these loads that end up getting rejected and then can't be placed anywhere. Food banks, unfortunately, are becoming pickier than ever. Where if there's a little bit of decay, or like if there's like maybe a few flies because of the trailer or something like that, they won't take it in. So then it becomes like a real, now we have to dump this somewhere situation. And I really hope that whether it's somebody watching this or somebody out there can find a way to rescue rejected produce that's like happening in live action, if you know what I mean. I'm not talking about stuff that's in stores like, oh my gosh, we have all these extra large red beets we don't know what to do with. I'm not talking about that, and I'm not talking about the stuff that's excess, like in the stores or in the DCs. I'm talking about the stuff that is like literally homeless produce because of a size
Like
rejection or a Walmart.
it got grown, it got shipped, or it's in a warehouse and it's got
Yeah,
nowhere to go.
for
Yep.
sure. And
Yeah.
we have a few partners that handle it and work and just work really slim margins to try to blast it out, which is great. But there aren't enough people like that, and I mean, maybe that's the next big Shark Tank idea is but again, um, back to the question about charitable organizations and what we do. We use the tools that we have. So we have a lot of excess potatoes or something like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
we're gonna donate. We whenever people come and ask Race West as an organization for what can you do to donate, we say how many pallets of potatoes do you want to give out to your organization, and they're like
Hmm.
floored by it. We're like, anybody could give you money. Like, go ask the bank or go ask,
Yeah.
somebody that's in finance to help with that. Let us feed people because we have
Yeah.
extra stuff. And they go, wow, that's actually a great idea. And then we'll end up doing a food drive in their parking lot where we'll distribute 3 pallets of 10-5 russets to families in need. Um, and if you think about it, it really it goes back to biblical times where when you had excess product in your field, you left it out for people who needed it.
Mm.
So we try to follow that model. That's something my great grandfather instilled in us back when he founded the company. His
Well,
main line is never forget where you came from. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and your name is what you're going to be remembered by forever. So try to keep it in good standing with the world.
Well, you and your company are definitely living those values. It comes through loud and clear, and I just commend you on making it work as a fourth generation. You hear these statistics that like, so few businesses, I actually don't know the numbers off the top of my
It's
head.
they
It's
don't make it past two. That's the
Yeah, they
stat.
don't make it past two, right? And here you are on four, and
We're definitely
things are
blessed.
going well. You definitely have a strong place in the industry. Man, it's been good talking to you and getting to know you a bit more. I know that we'll be talking again.
For sure. I
I'm
appreciate it.
excited about this, about learning more about you and what Race West does. I hope the listeners got some value. I know they will. Um, anyway, it's been great, man. So
Thank you so much.
I do have to ask one more question.
Please.
What's your favorite way to enjoy potatoes?
Okay, are we talking regular potatoes or sweets, or should I do both?
No, you're the sweet potato guy. It's got to be sweets.
Okay, my favorite way is this is a weird one, but I don't know what it is. I just can't get enough of it, and I could eat it every